Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Oxenfree. So, we're kind of lost. I don't know if I can really get to the relay point from where I am because there's kind of a forest in between. And so we may have to just wander around, and it feels like the game may very well want us to wander around. And we found two anomalies of 12 now, so I now know that the anomalies are not the big triangle things, but the small little platforms. Like this here might be an anomaly itself. Or it might be a case that we need to find all 12 before we can save Rin. Or it might be the case that we just can't save Rin no matter what. That definitely sounds different.
And we're inside with the first
It's probably an anomaly everywhere, if I was to guess. So, this feels like what this is the game is supposed to be. And I gotta kind of question with what the story is that's being told, if this wouldn't be better as...
Why is there a cable car here? Couldn't they have just made just like a normal bridge with wood and slats that isn't hung by what looks to be twine? It looks less than welcoming. Or at least it doesn't look very inviting. Or...
Look, it's a little scary, but Ryan needs us, so...
Yeah, I know. Alright, well, let's just...
Yeah, I definitely remember criticism of this game.
It's been running here since the
being designed in a way in which you cut people off so you actually don't even hear as much dialogue as you'd want. So... here it is. It must be this graveyard.
Oh, check out the small cemetery in the Pacific Northwest. Literally, it's from the 1800s.
Jesus, I thought that was a pet cemetery. I'm kind of relieved, this island's depressing enough.
I don't know why how many plots to make a cemetery. Because if you bury one person somewhere, is that a cemetery at that point? Anyways, these little stone markers they said were indicators of radio signals. So all we have to do is kind of wait till the subtitles pop up. And this should do something.
Easy. If indeed he find fault with anything, or expose it, with charity, the abbot shall discuss it prudently. Lest perchance God has sent him for this very thing. Easy.
Okay. So that should be another anomaly. And I don't know if we're going to get anything out of any of that information, but we're kind of at cross points because we're trying to we're trying to do several different things at the same time,
I think this
just
is
for
the engine.
efficiency's sake.
It's not even warm.
Yeah, no juice.
Right.
It's not... Unless I'm doing something wrong, it's not working.
No power? I mean, I would think if it had power, these lights would be on.
Okay, so we've got to get power, but that takes us to the campground, which doesn't really feel like it goes to the relay point. So we may just be on the totally wrong path, and it may just be a case that this is a world where you are free to run around and you're just going to do everything anyways. Let's see.
Power transfer station 167.
Hey, just what we need.
Interesting.
Okay, that's a little strange. Why wouldn't they lock it? I mean, somebody should have locked it, right?
Maybe there's no need? Like there's nothing here to steal or something?
All right, I'll go with that just because what else am I going to do?
So, do we want to bring up this and look for anything in this area? Like, I really just cannot get on board with this radio mechanic. It's kind of a not the thing you want to play with until you understand what you're
Being
doing.
terrorized on an island by unseen forces really makes you miss television.
Well, maybe if we get the power working, you can catch up on the soaps.
I found the circuit breaker.
So is this
Wait,
going to
like
be
the
a
first thing
puzzle?
It says is beware of overload.
Or is this just
Not
going to be a
attempt restart
simplistic
without supervision.
action?
So I don't know.
Terrific. You'll be my supervisor. Supervisor Jonas. So what does it say to do?
Just let me do it. That way, if something bad happens, you know.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
So
It's just
let
that
him do
you
it.
know
Who cares?
Kind of your way around here. You know Ren. If someone were to get electrocuted, it should be me, right? It makes some kind of circus sense.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
All right.
So it would be funny
What's happening? Why'd the
if-
lights go out?
I don't know. Is this even the right thing?
There's only one thing. It's the only thing. If this doesn't work, there's nothing else. The lamp's flickering. Do you think it's like on backup power now or something?
It sounds like it's emitting some weird noise too, right?
So just like
Yeah, a little.
creepiness,
For some
at
reason,
this
it
point,
reminds me of the
though,
cave.
they should probably already
Let's just try
be
to get
used
the
to
power
this.
on.
It's... I can't believe this. It's locked now.
It's okay. We'll just. There's got to be a way to turn the power on still.
I kind of wonder if Jonas is already dead, that he died in the cave, or if he died touching the electric fence and he's being actually controlled by somebody else, some kind of ghostly spirit. And on that thought, it would be kind of weird if our biological brother ended up taking over our stepbrother's body.
God, I haven't heard this in forever. This is something my mom used to... I am so tired of this funhouse bullcrap.
So it seems like the story is going to very much center around Jonas. Which is going to be weird considering how we are the only character that's really causing anything to happen, even when we tell Jonas to do something. Like, I severely doubt that anything would have turned out differently in that area had we messed with the circuit breaker ourselves. This is interesting how you're walking down a hill and they animated that.
Was that there before?
I don't think so.
Is that just a regular chair or is that a high chair?
Alex, are you all right?
It's just a chair, so...
Well, it's making me feel like bugs are on my skin. So, come on, let's go.
If we are having glitches in some kind of AR matrix, or going into alternate realities, little things changing would be expected. So I'm just trying to see. You really just have to sweep and see if the color bars on the sides change.
And run
I think. Also, this would be a pretty bad game if you were deaf. I don't think you could play it. Even with subtitles on, it doesn't quite work.
What a night. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about this.
No, I'm not saying it like it's anyone's fault. It's nobody's fault. It just happened. Stuff happens.
If I hadn't brought the radio and hadn't tuned it into that... whatever.
No, don't say that. Well, actually, you saying that saves me from saying it, so thank you.
Hey!
I kid.
Yeah. It would be definitely super awkward to have a teenage brother-in-law just come into your life. I often, when dealing with new people, end up kidding with them more than I think they're ready for, and it doesn't work great. So that worked. So let's go to the campgrounds, I guess. I don't think that's the right direction, but we might as well go. The writing here and the kidding and the quickly growing friendship that's happening here is very symptomatic of a writer wanting to get from point A to point B in a very short amount of time.
Well, when you look at that, it didn't collapse. That's one good thing that happened tonight.
Yep. Yay.
You used to come here a lot as a kid, right? To the island. I mean that's what Ren made it sound like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about a lot, but a few times.
Maybe I should mention my brother.
In the summer, or even in the spring. You got the park, you got the main street shops.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It can be pretty nice when the conditions are right, you know?
So, I wonder how big this is going to be.
Some people camp here, but it's weird. I don't know why they just leave their tent.
Looks kind of dumpy. Like, I don't know, like it's been abandoned.
Be funny if it turns out we've been living at the campgrounds for like 1,000 time iterations. When you're in a new area, you probably should scan the radio. But until you see the pile of rocks, it kind of doesn't matter so far because we don't know the fullness of the system. Or we may actually know the fullness of the system and they may just have 3 or 4 red herring stations. I'm looking at the reflections in the water to see if anything is noticeably weird about it. Doesn't seem like there is.
You used to come here a lot as a kid, right? To the island. I mean that's what Ren made it sound like.
Yeah.
I don't know where these time loops.
My family trips were awful. My mom would always insist on going to Missouri every single year. Ugh. I mean, it was all we could afford, but still. That's a long drive for...
Why was it so bad?
There just was nothing to do. And my parents wanted to give me a good time, and they couldn't. And I could tell. I don't know. I look back on it now, and those dumb trips are kind of like... They're just containers for, I don't know, the memories that I have with her. Nowadays, I think what stuff happens matters more than where stuff happens. But, I don't know. I changed my mind a lot on that.
Yeah, I think I agree.
It's just a theory, anyway.
So, how can you really have a system here where we're gaining affinity points, for lack of a better term, in these conversations, but then we're going through time loops, and in this time the time loop is totally different. Now the fire is lit and the tent looks less dumpy.
Wait, wasn't this... We passed this a minute ago, right? And it wasn't burning?
I honestly don't remember.
Look in the reflection here. It is both of them, but it's at a weird angle. See, clearly this story has something to do with Jonas, because otherwise Jonas wouldn't keep turning into either a different version of Jonas or forgetting things. And I feel like half of these sections are just going to be this. Either you find an anomaly, or you find a puzzle, or you find a time loop.
You used to come here a lot as a kid, right? To the island. I mean that's what Ren made it sound like.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been nice having... Actually, man, do you ever get deja vu? Because I just got the biggest one I've had in a while. It's like practically a stomach ache. I mean, sorry if I'm rambling.
You might as well just be quiet and let it happen.
Are we lost? Or is it something else? I mean...
Whatever we did or opened in the cave must have, like, screwed up something, or... I don't know. I don't want to say, like, time, because that sounds insane.
Well, it's more than a little troubling that I can't tell, besides a headache I've only just noticed, but okay, let's deal with this now, sure.
So the opportunity to talk about my dead biological brother seemed to only be around in that first instance. And now we have... Is that a skull or what? It's so zoomed out. It's a ball.
This is, new. It's kind of weird. I had the exact same kind when I was a kid.
That's not really weird.
Why would a toy company make two, right?
Oh, love the jokes. Keep it up. See what happens. Oh, I need to drink more milk or something. Jeez. Who's there?
So it's just... I'm taking a picture of the ball moving, not your kicking, just so you know.
Alright, who are you?
Maybe don't antagonize whoever...
Okay.
I think they have a sense of humor.
Hey, come on!
So they want us to walk, but perhaps at specific times?
Oh my god. Alex.
Ugh, my doctor's not going to be happy with my blood pressure this year.
Yeah, mine neither.
Like, it feels like all these lines of dialogue have been added after the fact. Like, just completely after the fact. And there was a plot and a story here that would have happened with Alex just not talking at all. Alright, let's tune here and see if this does anything. I kind of assumed that the entire world would vibrate if I was supposed to tune to something. Doesn't look like anything. And I guess we're gonna just break out of the time loop.
Jonas! Jonas, where are you?
So is this the point where we finally get left on our own? Because if that's the case, then the whole dialogue conversations stop happening, and some things might get explained. So now the camera's moving down.
How am I... Is this an optical illusion or something?
See, there's like code above our head. Let's see.
Don't tell Michael what to do about Clarissa, okay?
Wait, we've done this before.
Okay, there's got to be a way out, or...
It's alright, we must have just missed, something.
Are you Can you kind of remember more now?
It's starting to stick. Yeah, I mean, it's still sort of foggy.
Thank goodness for that.
Whatever, I'll deal with it.
So we've gotten 2 bits of information from our reflections. And in that instance, it was upside down, and I could not read the text upside down to pick a choice. So it picked its own choice, which was don't tell Michael what to do about Clarissa. Which I am totally fine with that. Like, I think we're probably going to end up in the past. Kind of like one of the later episodes of Life is Strange, and we're going to just try and set things straight. Here we have a tape player. And it seems like the tape players are going to be a constant element to break out of time loops. Last time I spun it.
It's just like the armoire in the cave. Super duper old, but in like new condition.
And see, it wants you to go in clockwise.
I think they're called.
And I went counterclockwise before.
Why would it be here?
I assume the military did this. So I'm gonna just go clockwise, and it seems like you just have to go either direction.
You know, I didn't realize I felt like a pressure in my head until right now. Maybe doing that fixed the loop.
Interesting.
Whatever you did helped something, I think.
Yeah, but making it sound right did what?
I don't know, but it's like my allergies cleared up or something. Let's just keep going and get Ren.
So it does kind of feel like audio frequencies and radio frequencies are affecting reality in some weird way. The problem with telling a story like this, we finally broke the loop long enough to at least get up this mountain, is if all of reality is so malleable that it can be changed, reality stops having...
This is really insane, Jonas. Like, the craziest thing that's happening
really
to
could stop
right
mattering
now is
and
happening to
stop
us.
feeling relatable.
True, but
with all this weirdness.
Go on.
nah, I couldn't think of anything to say. What do you think they want?
Let's see.
The ghosts.
I don't know.
I just hope they want to, like, play soccer every once in a while, and that's it.
There's another stone over here, and then something up this direction.
Yesterday, the remains of 4 bodies were discovered in 2 cars submerged west of Cape Mears. How the cars got in the water, no one... Yesterday, the remains of 4 bodies
Is that
were discovered
Danger
in 2
One
cars submerged west of Cape Mears.
that is
How the
saying?
cars got in the water, no one...
They're not subtitling the
Yesterday,
first
the
part of
remains
this.
4 bodies were...
Each of these stories has to do with somebody dying, by the sounds of it. Even the court martial, I assume, ended with the execution of somebody. Or at least something going bad. Maybe that's the more generic explanation. So maybe we're going to have to go back and undo all of these anomalies. There's nothing here, so... Let's see if there's anything we really want to know. Kind of felt like the screen was scrolling up. There. It does kind of feel like it's bobbing. I don't know why you would want to come up in this area if there was nothing here to do. I think maybe the screen just bobs a little bit, just to be off-putting. Or maybe there's a reason to come over here and do something later. Let's see if we can jump down. No. We cannot jump down, so a slow climb up and then a slow climb down. We're gonna have to remember quite a lot of stuff. Is the problem. The next problem we'll run into, certainly. I don't know if we want to go into a cave. Or maybe we do.
Is that Nona?
That looks like a child. He's walking ahead of me.
Don't, okay? Just don't move, okay? Don't come anywhere near me.
No,
She was sitting.
Don't move.
What is it? What's wrong?
This night has turned banana bread really fast, and I'm seeing things and forgetting things, and I bumped into you once already, and it was horrible. So we're gonna take it a little slower this time.
Okay.
So just look, you're not gonna talk about my grandfather. You're just gonna stand there politely and tell me if you've seen Clarissa.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking.
We're here because we think Ren is somewhere in the woods. Have you seen him?
No, not Ren. Okay, well...
Hey, listen, Nona. You should come with us. That way we're not all, separated.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Alright, okay, hey, I get it, I do. I'm jumpy right now too, but...
Just hold up a second, Nona, okay?
Yeah, can you just do us a favor? Can you go to the comm tower and wait for us? We got the lights on there, and it seems pretty safe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go to the comm tower and just sit tight till we get back.
And the comm tower is... where?
It's the cloud buster at the edge of town. Can't miss it.
And you. You're really you? Really?
Yeah, Nona, it's me, Alex.
Alright, bye.
So we eliminate her as a character
peach.
that we're going to interact with anymore. Which is probably a good thing. Now, if we look at the map, apparently we can get to the relay point in some direction. Yeah, this way. So I should have gone up to the top first as a lookout point up there. I assume that there's not any benefit from trying to scan here. I don't see any reason to rile up Nona and talk about a grandfather which wasn't even a prompt. Maybe if we had played the game differently, we would have had that prompt. And we have no reason to tell her that we saw Clarissa was dead because we don't know what really is going on there. We're pretty much hallucinating as much as everyone else. So D9 BT PA. What does that mean? And why don't we have something that is kind of saving this information for us? Interesting. So here was the kicking of the ball picture he took. And that happened before, or at least it's in order before the other locations. So it feels like we're probably going to
I remember this. The two Jacks
we're probably going to lose Jonas after he takes 2 more pictures.
On a school trip once. You don't care, do you?
No, please keep going.
Okay, on another school trip they...
Stop.
I wasn't even paying any attention to that conversation though. And you can't get it back and hear it again. So if there was anything important in there, I missed it. It's so weird to have writing and dialogue that's deadly serious right next to dialogue that is just like junior high schooler enthusiastic childish having fun type conversations. Yeah, the tone is getting thrown backwards and forwards from being a spooky sci-fi horror story to just a casual field trip experience, and it's ridiculous. And there's like another ghost in the background, so I guess we kind of know that there's some kind of ghost-like creature in this world, which I felt like we kind of knew that anyways.
Hey, just for me, why'd you let me flip the switch back at the bridge? To be honest, I expected you to just bull ahead and do it yourself, but you didn't.
I just didn't want to hurt your feelings, okay? It's easier that way, with boys.
All right, well, you don't have to do that with me, all right? Do what you want. I'm not going to fret over it.
Oh yeah, then why did I just get an affinity point for
actually,
taking that decision?
Why would an island need anything like that anyway? Like, nobody's going anywhere. Doesn't the whole thing just go in a circle?
This was a mining island before the war. And the land, you know, as you can tell, it wasn't really conducive to most different ways of transport, so they dug into the hills and laid down tracks and carted the coal by freight to the pier for the boats.
Can I ask you something?
Is that information useful?
Yeah, of course.
You think I'm kind of a slacker idiot, right? Like, I wouldn't find any of this stuff interesting?
Jonas, I think you're smart. Come on, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I just sometimes get these, like, whiffs of... I don't know. I can't think of the word for it.
Maybe it's stress? Like from what's going on right now?
You think I don't know stress? I know stress.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know. Nah, it'll come to me.
I don't know what this conversation is even trying to imply. I'm having a hard time following it. So it seems like we'll probably run into another time loop. We are in a weird position. So we saw the campgrounds, we saw the Tau Woods, we saw the Discovery Cliffs, we saw the Beacon Beach. The only thing we haven't seen is the Adler Estate, and we saw Main Street. So it feels like this is actually a rather small and short game, but it's kind of questionable how many times we're going to end up having to do this. Or maybe not. Maybe this will just wrap up very quickly. Like, we may find Ren and then go back to the hardened tower and then try to call for help. But I don't really get that, frankly. It would make more sense to get back to the main street. Like, I would feel a lot safer, even if the city is completely abandoned, to be in the main street and near where the ferry is and just say, hey, let's just try to make it through the night, than to continuously wander around this entire island that seems to just get creepier and creepier everywhere we go. It'd be a little weird if it turns out that Fort Milner was like the creepiest part of the island, and we kind of played out of order, and it would have been better to try and save Rin first and then leave Closer alone. There's 7 more anomalies, so I feel like I potentially could have missed one in Fort Milner, and very easily there's one at Adler Estate and Empathy Field and Discovery Cliffs and Main Street. 1 or 2 of them. But as for what is going on, we really haven't made any new progress as far as figuring out what's happening. We can check back and look at these photos, and yeah, there's nothing here. I guess it's worth mentioning that these photos are like Polaroid photos, which again shows that the creators of this game, or at least the animators, are rather old, and instead of these being digital photos or photos that would have been printed out borderless. And so I feel like we're going to get 2 more photos, and then the story, something tragic's going to happen, and then we're going to have to start playing to get the letters. Either that, or the letters are just some incredibly complicated system that it would have been impossible to find any at all until you've gotten through the first half of the game. There's 15 of them. Is that, no, 13 letters in total. So I don't know what that really would mean, other than 13 is supposedly a spooky number. It took nearly an hour for the game when we first started to even get to the point where it is now, where there's some tension and some actual goals. And now that we are, I think, approaching about 3 hours into the game, it feels like we're starting to get some resolution of that first conflict, or that first challenge, but we still haven't gotten anything explained to us, and it's taking too long. Yeah, a good 20 to 30 minutes of this could be streamlined or cut out, and my fear is that we're going to play this game and get to the credits and still not really know what's going on, or have to just decide whatever take from it, whatever we want to take from it, based on our own internal interpretation. And if the game decides to give me a couple more hints from like a future me as far as things I'm supposed to do, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to remember them. I could probably remember one more instruction from a mirror version of myself, but if they give me 2 or 3 more, I'm probably going to forget one. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.